and that is Riva. Hello, Riva.
Hi,
Hi.
GM.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking, Nick. I hope you're doing well as well.
I am doing very well. And so, Riva is our marketing council lead. She is a consummate marketer. And where are you, Riva, right now?
Yeah, I'm set right next to Prabhu. No, well, not really. We're both in different Emirates, but we're both in the United Arab Emirates. I'm in Abu Dhabi. He's in Dubai.
That's cool. So you're staying indoors and staying cool, I hope. Uh, and your dog?
Noah, yeah, he's great. I just told him, hey, you got to be quiet for a little bit, and then take you out for walkies. So he's fine with that.
All right, cool. So, Riva, let's talk about you a little bit. Tell us about your background and tell us about the highlights of your life.
Sure. First of all, it's great to be here, and it's great to have met like some amazing people through projects I've worked with you, Nick, and some of the people who are watching the live right now. Thank you so much. I'm able to read all your comments, and you guys are amazing. Myself, I'm Reba. I was born in Singapore. I grew up there. And unlike Fur, I did not graduate in advertising and marketing. I took a weird combination of political science, psychology, and nanotechnology in the university. But then, while I was still an undergraduate, I was already working for the Singapore National Television. I was producing a documentary series and live TV shows. I was 17. I was doing floor managing and stuff like that. And one of the shows actually went to win the best series. I then, started focusing on broadcasting and communications. Took up a radio job as a gig, but went on to completely master the radio automation system. So then I traveled around Asian cities to set up radio stations across multiple countries. Well, that involved training and leading the teams and also hosting drive time shows across 3 countries. And that's what brought me to Dubai. 7 years ago, I realized what I have always loved with whatever I was doing was simplifying complex ideas and making them into stories that I can understand and people who read my stuff, who hear my stuff can understand, right? That's when I went into advertising. Started off as a junior copywriter and worked myself way up to be an associate creative director. And then I started working for multiple Web3 organizations for a couple of years. That's when I met Nick. I've worked with him. I've also worked with the companies that own Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, and Burj Al Arab, the world's first 7-star hotel, you guys know. And I also tend to work with a lot of automobile brands, Skoda, MG. I worked on the pitch for Porsche Middle East, and I still do work for Maserati Middle East. I work on their copy and digital content development. Yeah.
Wow, you're I feel, as I said, the consummate marketer, and what I like about you is you're very clear about the lines about strategy in marketing versus tactics, and you focus more on the strategy and making sure we've thought through all aspects of it. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Vitruvio brand and what your vision is about how we are going to go about implementing our vision.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, Nick, we live in an information-rich society, right? There's so much of stuff that we get all the time, like even now, like words, read here, listen. But decisions, actually, as human beings, at the end of the day, if you take off marketing words, like remove consumers and buyers and investors, all of us are human beings. And decisions are often not made with information. It is made using feelings. So I feel like my job, again, I feel that my job is to really distill the information and really give you the positive vibes about a project. And that's what branding is, okay? If we all made decisions with only information, we would all be like the ideal weight, living the best lifestyle, shopping at the perimeters of the supermarket. But no, sometimes we wake up and choose violence, or we pick the right tune and we change our mood. So that is where branding comes in. A good brand is a person's gut feeling about a product or a service because it depends on others for its existence. So for me, my first job is I'm really glad that the community is loving the Vitruvio brand. Got a thank intention for that. We worked with them and did market research to make sure that the colors and the fonts and how the brand look and feel brings trust, brings comfort, brings good vibes and friendship. So yeah, that's what I think is most important when it comes to branding.
And I think you're hitting that mark really, 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 really well. One of the things I like to do is work with people from whom I can learn a lot, and I always learn from you, and I appreciate that. We first met actually on a Twitter space when uh, you were talking about your NFT project, Brava. I'd love for you to share more about that in a little more detail, because I think it's important for people to understand that you cannot be successful in a project like this unless you also have a committed, to social causes, and to bring that technology to bear with those social causes. So let's talk about Brava for a bit.
It comes back to human stories
Yeah.
and being personally invested in a cause such as helping women women and girls who have undergone domestic and sexual violence. So I got to like rewind a little bit and tell you how I came into the NFT and Web3 space. I was just looking for a painting like to be above my bed. And I did not want something that everybody has. Like I did not want to go and shop in IKEA. I did not want to go to Home Center. I wanted to get something unique. But then if I go to galleries, stuff was super expensive. So just started Googling, well, like where can I get unique artwork that I can own, right? And that is when I bumped into like Tezos. They had a marketplace back then called Hik Nunk. I think this was in 2020, and that is when I started shopping for NFTs. And then I got like some of my advertising agency friends and say that, hey, have you seen this? And then one of my very good friends who's a designer from Mexico, he said, yeah, let's do something with it. There is a cause that I want to support in Mexico. It's called Fondo Semillas, and they do great work, phenomenal work, helping women and children. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be part of that too, because I've gone and done some real work, on ground work in Kolkata in India, in some of the red light areas there. And that's how the Brava brand was born. And with the help of the community, some of the people who are actually watching the live right now, and some of the people who are part of Vitruvio's core team are members who actually hold Brava. So thank you so much for that. We managed to fulfill the charity commitment. For me, I think collaboration, like collaborative effort, is so important. I keep going back to how we are all humans and it's all about feelings. One of the things that we managed to do with Brava, apart from fulfilling our charity commitment, was also onboard a lot of new users to Web3. And the only reason why they did that was they realized that they can actually support such a cause, which is close to them from all around the world. We sent out a form, a Google Forms, and asked people to fill up. And we said, members of the Brava community have to be people, not just who want to flip the project. We want them to be, and this was like late 2021, right? And we want people to be, people all like flipping and stuff. We want people to really resonate with the entire cause. And so you got to fill up this like 20, questionnaire. And Nick, I love questionnaires. I sent one to you too. So, and the people, the first, the community, bunch of people who joined were people actually who filled up all those 20 questions. Husbands, sons, moms, brothers who said, hey, this incident happened with my wife. It happened to my sister. I don't want it to happen anymore. We want to be part of Brava. And I love that story. I think it's so heartwarming. I want to create more stories like that.
That's amazing and really, really inspiring and uplifting. And I love that you did that. So let's bring it back to Vitruvio here. What's your approach going to be? We have a tall order of bringing in all the world's creators on here, whether it's visual artists or musicians or filmmakers or writers, etc. What's your approach going to be?
I'm going to cheat here a little bit and refer to one of my favorite books. It's called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And one of the things I learned from the book is, or let me put it this way. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of brands do is they think that they are the hero of their story. So, I love talking about stories, right? And I don't think brands should ever be heroes of your story. If you're watching Star Wars, you cannot be the Luke Skywalker of your story. You need to be the Yoda. So people always look up to a brand who can guide them, who can help them see what the problem is, who can show them the way, who can really be a Yoda. I mean, every individuals are heroes of their own story. Everybody's got their main character vibes. We're not going to mess with that. And I think one of the biggest strategy with Vitruvio is whenever we post content, it's going to be content that actually is in functional content. that actually makes a small difference in everybody's life, no matter what kind of stuff that we post. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is marketing and advertising. It all comes under sales. So there's conversion and lead generation and the numbers, the follower growth, the token sales, all of that is really important. But on top of that, I believe what can actually take us to where we want to be is human focused communication. And if I may, Nick, because marketing advertising is super visual, I want to paint a little bit of another picture. And this is actually a campaign by IBM. It was done like years ago. They did the campaign communication called Smart Ideas for Smart Cities, right? So what they could have done is IBM, spent a lot of money, made like huge ass billboards, put some paid advertising, expensive stuff. They could have done all that, but what they actually did was they made billboards, but then they bent the bottom of the billboard slightly so that those billboards actually were not just billboards. They became benches at waiting areas, or they bent the billboards at the top, so it became shelters. To me, that is clever. Wow. That's not just saying we are making cities smarter, but doing it, and that's what I am passionate about. Yeah.
I love that. That's really awesome. And I love that you use the word human, because I'm fixated on that. I want this protocol to be as human as possible, and to get away from what this industry has brought so far. It's a very jargon oriented, very technical, and I hate to say it, but a very bro culture. And we can change that. We can change that completely.
100%. And before we wrap it up, because we've got one of the most important people in the teams right after me, but not so long ago, Dubai was the host city for Expo 2020, right? It's a big thing. It was like during COVID, so it became Expo 2021. But I was tasked with creating a campaign to bring, like millions of visitors who came into the city to visit one of the largest chain of stores in Dubai. Now, one way of actually bringing people into a supermarket or a store is advertising, right? You do YouTube 6-second ads, or you send out emails, you do TV ads, whatever it is. That can work for me. That is important. But if we can move beyond intrusive advertising to start thinking, how can we really make a difference? So that's how I thought with my team, and we launched a campaign called Arablish. So you know what we did, Nick? What we did was we changed the price tags in the supermarkets, so they all became language teaching devices. So you can get an apple, and then it said an apple is 3 dirhams, but it also show you how the apple is written in Arabic and how to pronounce it. So all we did was, we did not tell people come and shop here. We said, come and learn Arabic. And obviously, when they went into the stores, they started shopping, and they brought home a new language. And I think those kind of stuff would really work with TrueView, with what we are building here, because we've got a great brand.
Yeah, Riva, I'm afraid to report to you that you have a new name in the community. It's Yodiva. It's a combination of Yoda and Diva. So you're going to be Yodiva. I love that, Slumdog Millionaire. Thanks for putting that
Yodiva, there. I am.
Yeah, wonderful chatting with you. I'm sure we're going to have lots more conversations about marketing here. Welcome. And I trust you wholeheartedly to kick ass on this brand and take us to new heights. So great chatting with you, Riva.